I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, March the 17th, brought to you in part by Ralgrow. Inputs are surging with everything that's going on in the world right now. You have to take advantage of any cheap gain that you can find for your cattle. Ralgrow implants deliver an extra 23 pounds of gain per head for only $1.50. Visit ralgrow.com or talk to your Merck Animal Health representative. St. Patrick's Day, it's not as fun as what we would normally see it with all the turmoil going on in the world, but you might still have a green beer and some corned beef and cabbage just for old time's sake, guys. But we've got a lot of things that are going on in this market, and it is not following course here. There's still a lot of uncertainty going on. We've gotten kind of, callous to this war and everything that's going on, but your markets are trying to get back to some semblance of normalcy. But on Wednesday there, we had President Zelensky from Ukraine that's getting bombarded by Russia there. He pleaded to our Congress for some help, and he really wanted us to get involved, even though he knows we're not going to for the risk of a nuclear war. But he asked for more help, and sure enough, President Magoo decided to throw some more of our money at him to the tune of about $800 million. But it's that didn't seem to change anything. But our markets are just not following suit what normal's going on. We've had 3 days of up market up until Wednesday on your live cattle pits, and they were down on Wednesday there for no apparent reason. Cutouts are strong and seem to have turned the corner and have come back. The little dab of fat cattle trade that we had was some higher, at least at the extreme top of last week's trade, and they haven't traded a lot, so they've still got their heels dug in. You would think that would cause your futures to be a little bit higher, but they sure enough didn't. Oil has come back down a bunch, but of course we don't see anything cheaper at the filling stations yet. Of course, they're going to take advantage of everything that they can as long as they can. Which is the norm for them. But we just would like to see this deal get over with and kind of get back to normal here. It's springtime's coming. Everybody's ready to have positive moods and hopefully get some more moisture, especially in the plains. We need it so badly. And maybe get some green grass going. Guys have got green grass fever buying these stockers. Of course, they have had all calendar years since back in January when they first started buying their grass cattle, and they've been buying them right along and still kind of going after them. But we've seen your bigger feeder cattle markets come back quite a bit this week, but not quite so much your calves and lightweights, as they really didn't suffer much loss due to everything that's been going on here for the last 3 weeks. But they're not surging anymore, and likely they're plenty high enough. But we just there's been some talk about that, and people have gotten chastised for talking about it. But you would think we could send somebody in there, a special force or a Rambo or a Jason Bourne or somebody, to go in there and take that sumbitch out. Couldn't we? I don't know. Maybe I watch too much movies, but it sure would be nice if we could get that done and get the world back in order there to eliminate one person instead of watching all these kids get killed every day. Let's talk about your board on Wednesday. April live cattle futures were down $1.50 at 139.35. June down $1.27 at 135.52. The back months on your live cattle pits down 10 to down 80 cents. March feeder cattle were up 90, all because corn was down some, but 157 and a quarter, and it's trading at quite a bit of premium to what your cash index levels are at, and we're well within the spot market there, or the spot month anyway. April was up just 2 cents at 162.72. Back months on feeder cattle were down 20 cents to up 45. So Not a whole lot of difference there. Talking about your grains, corn was down 28 for normal trading there on Wednesday, ending the day's session at $7.30 a bushel. Beans down 9.5 cents a bushel at 16.49 and a quarter. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for May has decided to back up. A week ago at this time it was trading around $12.50 a bushel, and it closed regular trading on Wednesday at 10.72 and a half, down 85 cents. So just wide swings, everything, and not really playing following course to what we assume should be going on. But let's look at the little bit of dab of direct fat cattle trade we've had in your 5-area feeding region. And like I said earlier, the guys have not sold many cattle at all. They just think that they want some of that market position back. They know that they need to make hay here for the next 6 or 8 weeks until we start getting into some bigger numbers of market-ready cattle on the show list, which is sure going to pressure the market. But guys are wanting more and asking more for cattle. We have had a few guys pull the plug, but at least it's been in the top of last week's range, or maybe even a little bit higher than that. Iowa sold about 800 head on Wednesday, 140 live and 222 dressed. Nebraska about 1,100 from 139 to 141. We didn't have 141 last week, so that'd be some higher. And 222 dressed there. Kansas just a couple of loads there at 138, which was about the same as last week. But why they would take 138 when everybody else is priced at 140 and better, I don't know. Texas didn't have any confirmed sales on Wednesday of negotiated trade. Box beef cutout values continue to come back a little bit and are getting higher, and it looks like we've set our bottom for the season there, and we're coming back as spring because guys are going to be getting their cookers out, get the barbecue grills out, and get them ready to get a new propane tank in there, or another sack of pellets, or another sack of briquettes, or however you guys like to do it. But they'll be getting ready to get the grilling going here again pretty quick. Choice cuts are up just 18 cents at 258.08. Selects up 143 at 250.27. Your slaughter's running at a good pace, just like it did last week. Let's just hope we don't have a dismal late week like we did last week, which brought it down below what the week ago and year ago numbers were. But so far through the first 3 days, 375,000 cattle harvested. That's the same as last week and 31,000 more than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. How about your livestock risk services? Those are the professionals that you can get in contact with to help you with your LRP, or livestock risk protection policy. You gotta protect yourself these days, guys. Things are just too volatile, and that is a really handy way to do it, especially for you smaller producers that don't have square loads of all steers to make a straight up hedge with. You can get in touch with them, tell them what you want to do, tell them what you got, and they'll help you out. So get in touch with livestockriskservices.com. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market of late there. Your real-time index brought to you by Margin Tracks by Midcon, based on an 800-pound steer, and that's through Wednesday's sales. 154.87, up $1.21. So it was up good the previous day, and then up good again on Wednesday. So we're catching back up quite a bit. Going to be leaving Houston finally and flying out to Nevada here on Thursday, and going to be there for the Nevada Livestock Marketing's special feeder cattle auction there in Fallon, Nevada. Helping with the auctioneering duties there. They're going to have about 4,000 head of cattle on hand. You guys can view and bid that sale on dvauction.com, and we have folks that do it every single special and buy loads and loads of cattle there and send them back out east to where they need them. But got a lot of cattle there, and I talked to Jack Payne, and he told me that there's going to be a lot of those little light dried out fall calves on there. over 600 of them, and some of them really light. In fact, said there'll probably be 150 head of little roping calves there, guys. If you're looking for something like that, get on to dvauction.com. It's way out west, so it doesn't start till after lunch out in the central part of the country, but you can view and bid that sale right there. How about some of your big sales on Wednesday? OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 8,800 head. Feeders were steady to $3 higher. Calves kind of unevenly steady. Had a stick out deal that I saw in El Reno, 62 head, 800-pound steers bring 160-150. Last couple 3 weeks we haven't been able to attain 160 on 8-weight steers, and I've told you about several deals already this week that have gotten to that point. Excuse me. How about Winter Livestock, Dodge City, Kansas? 4,400 feeders there. Look at your automated market report from Cattle Market Central. Your federal state market report was not available. You look at your best tested weights on the steers out of Dodge City, and higher for the most part, and they were mostly your feeder cattle, but 523 head of your 7-weight steers averaged 769 with a weighted average price of $150,495. That was a couple bucks higher than last week's weighted average. 456 head of 8-weight feeder steers in Dodge averaged 848 with a weighted average price of $149.53, and that was about $4 higher than a week ago's weighted average. And then some bigger steers, 544 head of 9-weights, averaged 946 with a weighted average price of $140.95, and that was about $1 lower. How about the big sale of Bassett out there in the Sandhills in Nebraska? Bassett Livestock premium type sale there, 3,100 head. Look at your automated market report out of Bassett, and just like typical, very, very impressive. I want to give you some of the best tested weights there. 458 head of your 5-weight steer calves averaged 549 with a weighted average price on all the 5-weight steer calves they had in Bassett at $211.20. Wow. How about 683 head of 6-weight steers averaged 641 with a weighted average price of $193.96. 357 head of 7-weight steers average 724 with a weighted average price on all of them of $176.52. You think, my gosh, how'd they get that? Well, they had 52 head of them, weighed 708, one deal, bring $183. How about some heifers? 585 head of 6-weight heifers average 645 with a weighted average price of $164.07. That's impressive, but it's $30 back of their brothers, guys. So when you're buying those cattle in the country, buying them on the video, 10, 12, 15 back ain't enough. Talk about some individual quotes. My auctioneer buddy Jacob Massey out there in Tennessee told me about a sale there. United Producers Market in Columbia, Tennessee sold a load of 843-pound steers at $155 standing in the ring way out there in Tennessee, way out east. I mean, you put $6 or $8 worth of wheels under them, and they're pretty darn high. How about Torrington Livestock Markets in Torrington, Wyoming? 92 head, 505-pound steers bring $223. But the best quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday, and your Ralgro top quote for the day, indeed come out of Bassett Livestock Market there in Bassett, Nebraska. 271 head, be 3 loads of the Monahan cattle there. They weighed 648 pounds and bring $2 a pound. That's your feeder flash for Thursday. Friday.